is going on, guys? What is going on? And welcome to this week's episode 138 of the STS Guys. I'm Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
And I'm Scott.
And we are the STS Guys, a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. This week, we also have some special guests with us. We have the secondary heroes. So, guys, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, that'd be great.
So, this is Trevor.
And I'm Delorean Wolfgang.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us, man. I'm pretty excited about this. The little prep that we had, let's just dive right in.
Welcome to our world.
That is how we do around here.
This is how little prep that I had. I have to wear earphones above other earphones because my mic crapped out. So now I'm using Bluetooth headphones to even talk to you.
So I have to say that was a fun adventure figuring that, like watching you like piece that together.
Oh, dude.
To get from point A to point B.
The hamster in my head was just in the wheel going.
Well, I also think that the funny thing though is like so. The most ridiculous option also sounds the best.
It did. It sounds really, really good.
Who cares?
It wins.
It totally works, man. Awesome. So what, like, I feel like a lot of the people who listen to our podcast also listen to your podcast, or right? There's that crossover where at least everybody knows who each other is. But what is the secondary heroes? Like, how did you guys come about? Like that kind of stuff. Who are you?
Trevor,
so the secondary heroes, essentially, we're just a pop culture podcast, a lot like you guys. We want to focus on movies and TV above all else because there's so much happening every single week, even during quarantine, whatever. Netflix and Hulu and Amazon have a ton of stuff, so it gives us plenty to talk about. And we got together like 2 years ago now, or a year and a half, and we were just like playing Fortnite, and we were like, man, this is good conversation. We're here in our little chat headsets. We might as well record this and podcast.
Here we are now. Podcast.
So that's a lot like us. Can we reenact the story, Jeremy, of our
birth of podcasting?
Yeah, we're gonna reenact this, all right? This is how it went.
Man, I said, this is a great conversation. Like I said, we learn on my chair. Scott, Larry, should we start a podcast?
Yep.
Okay.
Man, I think similar to you guys, right? It's like we should start a podcast, and everybody else is like, okay. And then next thing you know, you have a podcast, and then it's years later at this point. Because you guys are. I feel like you guys are dangerously close to 2 years, right? A year and a half.
Oh my God, we are.
I think you're.
I think so.
2 years. Yeah.
Trevor, how far are we?
No, I think it's just a year. We started March 2019.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was thinking, but yeah, it was SDCC last year where you guys did the panel at the library and stuff. So
yeah,
which was super
we stumbled
exciting.
into that really quick.
Yeah. We were still putting on our baby shoes, and here comes SDCC. Hey, why don't you guys host something?
It's pretty cool, man. Like it's sad because it's end of June. We're less than a month away from San Diego Comic-Con. 2020 if it wasn't for COVID.
Well, and I live in San Diego too. If you can't tell by my burnt complexion. I live in San Diego, and honestly, like this is now around the time roughly when you start seeing posters starting to show up, when the trolley starts getting its wraps. So it hurts my heart, man, to not see this stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It made us sad because I was waiting. I was so excited. I was like, we're gonna get the hotel, like all this stuff, and then
Well, just because so last year, so we made such. Like I said, last year, so we made an epic trip because we all made it out there. Right. Like so, it was the first time. Also, all four of the podcast guys, as I said, actually made it out there. And then, like I said, I said I don't know if I could top my last year, right? Because last year, like I said, between like fun days and everything, but my bucket list item I was able to check off where I was able to ask a question to Kevin Smith in Hall H, and so
oh wow,
so that was like I said, that was like the highlight of my thing because like I said, I'm a giant, huge Kevin Smith fan. Like
really, I didn't know.
You didn't know?
I didn't know. I never would have figured that out.
Well, I will say last year was special because I got to meet these two guys for the first time. There's secondary heroes, but like, right, I got to meet up with so many friends, internet friends who I had met in person. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks as it gets closer and closer, right? It's just a bummer, but hopefully we'll all be able to hang out next summer, or if not sooner.
I hope so, man.
That would be really, really cool.
Yeah, I absolutely hope so, because this whole quarantine thing is such a bummer. Like, I'm at that point where I'm over it, man. Like, I'm still wearing a mask. Notice my suntan for it's right there. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, man, it's so bizarre. Like, for instance, like baseball season, even like baseball season starts right before Comic-Con happens out here, and it's like I'm so used to going to baseball games at least once a week out here to watch the Padres usually lose, but it doesn't matter because they've got a great stadium.
Yeah, what is it? They're doing the new 60-game season or whatever it is.
You know what? If this works out, man, I think they should stick to 60 games a season because what is it? 100 and
I think it's 160. Like 162.
160?
Yeah, it's 162.
Yeah. So
just cut that 100 out.
Dude, cut the 100 out. Do 60. It makes every game mean more.
Well, and it's almost like they're playing a game almost every day, like during their whole time. Like
exactly.
Good. You're getting paid that money. Like
right.
You don't need a week of rest. Get out there.
A lot of these guys are making more money than football players, and football players are getting concussions left and right.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
And even hockey players. I mean, hockey players are making dimes on these guys.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
that's because hockey's the sport of sports. So,
isn't sports one of the bingo squares on our pod?
It is. It's the thing we never talk about. We finally get a bingo square.
Bingo square.
Just because I love to do it, Larry, I'm gonna do it.
Yes, please.
Bingo!
whoa!
I didn't tell you. We probably didn't. We should have prepped you. I got some buttons for like videos and stuff. So.
Dude, I'm all for it. I love it.
If you don't already have your bingo square, go to podcastbingo.com/STS Guys. Our friend Andrew made that for us. It's awesome. Shout out to Andrew. Andrew's the one who made the sports square. Like you said, we don't talk about sports a lot, but free bingo square for today.
Oh, there you go. Hey, it was natural, though.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Nothing was forced with that.
Those are the best kind. Not so natural. Hey, Scott, would you say it's been a week?
It's been a week.
I made a new drop.
They made a new button for me to play with. It's me. It's a video with me in it, so it's even better.
It's funny, Scott, because
Stroke that ego.
Scott, I'd been meaning to make that for like over a year. It was the episode that you and Jeremy did without me and Nate when I was moving into this house. And I remember listening to it, and there was just like this clean break of you just saying, it's been a week. I'm like, ooh, if I ever make a drop for that, I have to use that episode. But swear to God, it was like March of last year that I've been sitting on this.
I've been going for a year trying to get that.
Yeah, now it's an official segment. It's got its own intro music.
What timing?
All right, so Larry, since you brought it up here, and you did the segue though, how has it been a week for you?
Oh God. So I really don't have a lot. I'm back in Arizona for the time being. I guess I'm going to move to Austin sometime in August, I guess. I don't have an official date yet, but August-ish. So that's cool. That's going to be my weekly Austin update for a little while. Also Bingo Square. I think the only thing that I did that was somewhat interesting is on Thursday, I started rewatching Silicon Valley, the HBO show. Right, it ended recently.
Yep.
But like I've never rewatched it. Like I feel like everybody rewatches The Office and like Parks and Rec and stuff. But I decided to sit down and rewatch Silicon Valley, and like that season 1 was really good. Right, it was really funny.
Phenomenal.
It was good it was good to see Ehrlich back, right, or to see Ehrlich again with the group. It's kind of funny because right, like I feel like I learned a lot about like compression and like middle out and all that kind of stuff that they talk about in season 1 throughout the rest of the season. So I feel like I was like one of the guys now that I know how it kind of ends and how their business flows. Like going into season 1, like I didn't know anything about like compression and all that stuff, but clouds and it all made sense to me now. It was interesting.
And then I also say it's actually really pertinent now that you rewatch that, just because I said once you move to Texas, you know the reason why you're moving to Texas, you'll draw a lot of similarities in between those.
Well, okay, so I've always like so we work at a tech company, right? Or I did or whatever. But like our logo wasn't on the intro. You know, they've had like a really cool logo where they showed like the Google logo and they show like Dell computers, I think was even on season 1. But now I'm going to work at a place that has the logo on the intro to Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow.
That was the other reason I had to start rewatching it. I'm like, ooh, work.
So here's the fun thing, Larry. The only time your old company logo was shown was on a coffee mug.
Yeah.
And the reason I know that is because when they did the sale, a coworker of mine bought the coffee mug.
Yeah, I knew that.
Because when I used to work for there.
So, but one thing though, so you know, so watch the intro from season to season.
Yeah.
Watch your new company's logo from season to season, and watch how it changes.
Yeah. I've been paying attention. I'm already on season 2, and the intro has changed, which I didn't realize the intro changed from season to season. But that's why, like season 1, it literally had like Dell computers and some Blogspot. Remember like Blogspot, like Google, like that was one of the logos on there. I'm like, that didn't really hold up very well.
Oh, that's so funny.
But yeah, Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I think Napster was in there too.
I think Napster was in there. It was like a balloon. I wasn't sure. I thought that's what that logo was, but like Napster is like dead, man. Been dead.
Well, I think in season 2, if you watch the Facebook logo, it squiggles out and it turns into a Russian. It turns Russian because I guess there was some, I don't know, behind the scenes stuff happening with Russia and them. I don't know, but I thought that was kind of clever to throw that in the intro.
That seems.
I hope that's not the company. I don't know.
Shut up.
Oh boy.
No. So you guys are gonna be really, really mad at me, but I have not seen past season 1 of Silicon Valley because I never had HBO.
Oh.
But now that I'm down here, I got with the AT&T internet, they gave me free HBO Max, so I will be watching. But I'm a bad nerd that I have not seen Silicon Valley past the first season.
You need to watch it.
You got to watch it. Like, there's a few things that don't totally hold up, right? Because it's technology based, so things move quick. But for the most part, like I said, season 1, I'm like halfway through season 2. It's still a really good show. You should totally.
And you have finished the whole season.
Yeah, right? I finished it.
Like all 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, but I watched it as it came out.
5 seasons. Sorry.
Yeah, I watched it as it came out, so like I just wanted to sit down and try to knock out the whole thing.
It's all right. At least Ed's with me here.
Ed, dude, good buddy Ed Pogue, man. I love that guy.
He's a good dude. The best.
He is a good person, man. Yes, I dig him.
Yes.
Every time I think of Silicon Valley, though, I believe it was either the first or second season. I think it was like one of the finales where they're coming up with algorithms of how to
jerk guys off.
Yes, thank you. I was sitting there thinking, I don't know what kind of podcast is. If I can say,
you can say anything you want.
You can say whatever you want. We don't.
Okay, good.
Literally, the word "shit" is in our name.
Okay, so I had a buddy of mine text me after I tweeted the thing out saying, "What does STS stand for?" I'm like, I'm not actually sure. I'll ask when I get there. Yeah. So, would you guys mind letting us know?
So we always say it's shoot the shit, but a lot of times when people ask us, we'll just make up a random like Saturn the Star. And they'll be like, what does that mean? We'll just be like, I don't give a shit.
Steve turned 7.
Steve turned 7. Yeah, like soggy taco.
Man, my favorite two are soggy taco salad and super terrific studs.
The official one was shoot the shit, but we figured if we put it as just shoot the shit, no one would probably click on it just based on the title. So we shortened it.
STS Guys has a very catchy ring to it. So good job to you guys.
A little bit of mystery.
Yeah. So there you go, Jimmy. He texted me. So
Old podcast lore.
Yeah. It's the what is it? The random trivia question for trivia night.
nice.
Scott, how's it been a week for you?
You know what? I only have like 5 days left until I get to move into my house down here, so I will not have to be stuck on Jeremy's couch to do the podcast because my internet is shit at the apartment I'm living in right now.
Nice.
It's all well and good to have a temporary apartment that comes furnished. They don't tell you they give you the most potato internet that you've ever seen in your entire life. So now I have to come over here because we tried it once, and I literally had
You act like it's such a bad thing to come over here.
It's not a bad thing. You give me beer, we hang out, you have video games. It's fun, but it is also like a 40-minute drive with protesters. So
Yeah. That part's not so hot.
well, because I'm in downtown Austin right now, and so the one path out of downtown that I can generally take is the main protest path.
That is true.
I have to try to like leave before I have to watch the protest times just to know when it's starting so I can know when to leave to avoid them.
That's wild.
Got my window.
I got my window.
Wait, does Josh live in Austin?
Josh lives in San Antonio.
San Antonio, okay. I knew he lived in Texas, but I didn't know.
I know Damien and Christina are new to Austin, so
Yeah, we're taking over. We're taking over.
yeah, podcasting hub.
It's kind of crazy. So when we go down to San Antonio, I'm gonna have to look up Josh. That'd be cool.
Trevor, you said podcasting hub, but it actually apparently is kind of one because Larry wasn't there like some podcast award thing that happened here that we were going to try to
was that in Austin?
I think
The thing with
that in Austin?
The podcast awards are, but then South by Southwest does a whole podcast.
No, there's this person that had this they wanted to try to get all of the podcasts together.
The thing where I sent in the pitch for a new podcast about dinosaurs.
I said about the dinosaur ones. Yeah, all my friends are dead. A podcast about dinosaurs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we pitched a ridiculous idea for a podcast, and they picked us to present, but we didn't really want to go to Austin, and we didn't think we'd get picked, but we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we ghosted them, but it was,
we
I forgot it was in Austin.
We definitely good. I think that was in Austin.
It was because I had just moved here. I said like a week before that was supposed to happen. Because you guys were like, hey, you should try to go to this.
Go to this. We made this stupid idea. Please present it for us.
It was pretty good. I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, like we're excited. There's a lot of cool stuff in Austin, and then like San Antonio's close by, Houston's close by, Dallas is close by. It's pretty great.
Well, and I know that there's a hub in Houston as well. The Houston podcast group or something like that. I think it's put together by our buddy at 3 Beers and a Mic. They're up in Houston.
Yep.
But
I think so too. And like
we're in California. We're too far.
I mean, California's still cool, right? It's Southern California. But yeah,
right.
Like, podcast-wise, you're right. Because Houston Comic Palooza has always been like super supportive of podcasts. They have like a podcast area and all that. But you're right. I know 3 Beers and a Mic is a big deal down there. Right. That's where Sully and Steve from Nerd Fruit used to live.
Right. Yeah.
And I know that there were other podcasts around that too that I remember them talking about. Right. They did those I forget what their panels were called, like the intro to podcasting panels. And I know there are a few other podcasts on there with them too.
Well, and then they have that whole podcast studio that's built inside Coral Sword down in Houston.
Oh yeah, with Ming Chen.
Yeah, Ming.
Yeah, we got to go check that out too.
That's right. We had Ming Chen on as a guest not too long ago, and he was telling us that he was opening up different like factions of his podcast studio because I think his main one's in New Jersey, and he was trying to open up other ones elsewhere, which is awesome, man. Good for him.
Getting some franchising going on there.
For sure, man.
Isn't the one in Houston, right? It is called Coral Sword, but he like teamed up with the Hunter Pence, who used to play the Giants.
That's right. Yeah. The baseball player.
Yeah, the baseball player. But like it's a coffee shop / podcast area. You put
pretty wild, man.
Twitch streams there. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. That's too cool, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Play some Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
That's right.
Whatever you want.
So Jeremy, how's it been a week for you?
Two different things, right? So Well, first and foremost, my entire last weekend and most of this week has been filled with fulfilling basically something I've been waiting for let's see here, almost close to 7 years now.
You lost your virginity.
Hey,
Yeah.
hip hip hooray to that man.
No, I said Last of Us 2 came out last Friday. Last of Us 2, like I said, the follow-up to the hit Last of Us that released in the original PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Probably is
right at the end of its life.
Right at the end of its life cycle, yeah. But probably like one of my most favorite games of all time, just because of the believable fact of the story behind it. So it's not like just your typical zombie story. It's how the zombies are actually come to be. Like, because it's all based on the cordyceps.
Cordyceps.
Yeah, the cordyceps.
But so it also has the most true to life thing that every single human in that is a ginormous pile of crap.
Yeah.
And that is exactly the type of people that would live through
Yeah.
the zombie apocalypse. There are no more good people.
No,
they're all pieces of shit.
Absolutely. So Naughty Dog, like I said, who the studio that puts this out, like I said, they put out the Uncharted series. They did a few other partnerships, but
Ratchet and Clank,
Ratchet and Clank too.
Come on, up your arsenal.
They did Crash Bandicoot originally too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But listen, Last of Us 2, like I said, they made the wait worth it. It's actually double the length of the original game. It actually comes on 2 install discs, kind of like how
Oh, wow.
Red 2.
What was I had another one that had that.
Final
Final Fantasy VII had that too, where there was like the install disc and the play disc. Like, we're getting back into the old school PlayStation 1 era where you had the multiple discs to play games.
Yeah. So I've got.
That's awesome.
I got like a total like 14 or 16 hours into the game, and I'm barely cracked 10%.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's gonna
And you're enjoying it so far, right?
Oh, I'm enjoying it heavily. Like I said, it's just it's good to kind of revisit that world, revisit the story, because it's one of those games to where like you don't want to rush to play through it and beat it, right? I said you want to. You said you want to actually absorb the story, and you could actually play as like a movie. I think that's what made me fall in love with the first one.
The
second one's just as good.
Someone is doing like a series of it though.
Yeah, so it's actually there's actually an HBO series that they're actually going to be launching a live action Last of Us show. So super excited about that.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that you actually liked it. I was listening to another friend of our podcast called The 8-Bit Geek, and they were discussing that Last of Us 2 and how they were getting bombarded with negative reviews because I guess there's a lesbian character or something like that, and they.
Yeah, it's there is some controversy with that, and also people are saying they treat some of the characters like. Some of the characters that you really like, they treat really bad in the sequel. So people are saying they like butcher the story, but
so there's 2 different things. So it's the lesbian thing, yeah, right. Like so that was a lot of people have a problem with that. Like whatever, like
who cares?
Who cares?
Right.
Right. Exactly.
I think the bigger thing was though. So when they released these gameplay trailers, like so they let a lot happen in these gameplay trailers. Where like so there's some major spoilers in there. So everyone loves like so. Spoiler alert! I don't think it's. I don't think it's
everyone knows at this point.
Yeah. So Trever Baker, so the guy,
Troy.
Troy Baker, the guy who plays Joel, in the game. So you play as Joel in the first game, the majority of the game. Like within the first 2 hours of the game, he dies.
So the character that you spent the entire series playing as, sympathizing with, getting to know with, he dead.
Yeah, he dies within the first 2 hours of the game.
Yeah, but that's not a reason to leave a bad review of the game. That's just
here's
we're moving on.
Yeah. We got somebody brought it in. It wasn't just a lesbian. A lot of people are mad that one of the characters is like a trans character. That's a predominant person in there. And my thoughts on this is, if that is what gets you mad,
grow up.
Eat a dick. Like,
Dude,
I don't know,
seriously.
like,
It's so dumb, man. That's
who gives
awful.
a shit? Yeah.
like
Is the game good? Like, who does it matter? Like, fuck off.
like it's a gorgeous game, right? Like it's absolutely gorgeous. Like it's probably the best send off for the PS4 that there could be. Like, so it's just like if the PS4 had to end on a high note. Like I said,
That one's good, but I am waiting for Cyberpunk 2077
Yes.
because that one I think might be the true best send off.
Well, so I don't think that's going to be necessarily a send off because I said they
It's going to be back. It's compatible. I get it.
well,
It's compatible. but I think it's
not compatible. They're doing another release for PS5 and Xbox One, Xbox
Yeah,
One
but
X.
so I think it's that you can use the same disc and
Yeah, but they're like
Yeah.
they're doing like some
Upscaling,
type of,
yeah.
type of cross upscaling on it. So it's
I'm still, as you can tell, we like our games.
yeah. But then my other thing this week is like I said I started getting back into playing guitar again. So last week I said I actually had bought it. I didn't have a chance to actually play around with it. So I bought a new Ibanez electric guitar. So I've been playing around with that.
All right. So what about you guys? So we've talked up the our weeks so gloriously. How about you guys? Anything like new that you guys have gotten into, or anything like that you'd like to bring to the table? It's like a fucking icebreaker, by the way.
Yeah.
I just realized this.
You're right. Two truths and a lie.
An icebreaker that takes 30 minutes.
I don't know.
You want to take it away, Trevor?
Sure. So I guess my week has all been about. I got a new faucet because my faucet was broken, so that's a fun week.
All right. So
And-
broken, like flooding. Or like
Not that bad. Just like the cold water wouldn't turn all the way off, so it's constantly dripping. And I don't need to waste water. I live in Southern California. It costs an arm and a leg for water, so.
fair. Yeah.
And so I finally got the faucet fixed by myself because I could figure it out. So that was fun. And of course, ants are coming through the holes in the faucet, so that's fun. I get to go get those little ant traps. So it's just a whole fun little parade in the kitchen. But luckily, there's plenty to watch. And so if you're familiar with Secondary Heroes, we launched a new Secondary Shorts where we kind of talk about what's trending and all that good stuff. And so one of the things we're getting into is watching more current stuff so we can actually talk about it. And I'm watching Dark on Netflix because season 3 actually just launched today. And I mean, that's an amazing show. If you like anything remotely dealing with the strange, like it's kind of like Stranger Things, but it's all in German and then it's darker. Like it really establishes the name because Stranger Things is kind of goofy. It's light-hearted, and to have it more just visceral in the plights that happen to everybody and then tie into time manipulation, because I love time as a circle. That's kind of my new thing. Like in Arrival, True Detective season 3, the new season of Watchmen, it's all this kind of time as circle stuff that's becoming trendy, and Dark really dives into it well.
I haven't watched it, but Jeremy, Scott, didn't you guys watch Dark?
Yeah, I've seen
First season.
first and second season. I haven't seen the third season yet. So I saw that drop. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. But it's I thoroughly, like I said, I didn't think I was going to like it, just because like I said there's very few like language shows that I can get into, right? So I'm like it has to grab me, just because like I said I get distracted by some of the language, right?
Sure. You have to pay more attention.
Yeah, I have to pay more attention.
You got to be committed.
And Dark was like I said, Dark was one of those shows that grabbed me, and so I binged it. I binged the entire first season. So once I got into it. Another one was like I said, it was on Netflix. 3%. I think it's all done in Portuguese.
Yeah, the Portuguese.
Yeah,
one.
like it's like basically if Hunger Games met like a messed up like. If Hunger Games was like rated R, and had some
So Battle Royale.
yeah.
There you
So
It's like in between. If there was a halfway point between Battle Royale and Hunger Games, that would be the 3%.
yeah. So I watched this like Portuguese language show, but yeah, no, the Dark is absolutely fantastic.
I can't watch it because I can't read.
You can watch the English voice dubs.
Oh, okay, I could
It's
do
super
that.
awkward, but that's a choice.
Yeah, okay, I'm in now too, because I'm like right, like I have a hard time with that. Like I'm usually like on my phone or like, right. You get distracted by other things. Like I can't read the subtitles, but
Oh yeah, the show, it needs constant attention for 45 minutes.
I can't
don't know if I can
read.
That's why I didn't start watching it before when Jeremy said he really, really liked it. I think I added it to my queue or whatever, but it's probably still sitting there.
Yeah.
Maybe. How about you?
Speaking of dark stuff, I watched Leaving Neverland. I haven't finished it. I still have one more episode to go. Have you guys watched this at all?
I have.
You have? I haven't.
Okay. I still haven't watched the second episode, but good God. That is some messed up. And here's the crazy part. I watched the first episode, and as I'm just cruising around on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, people are posting videos of them doing Michael Jackson moves and stuff like that.
Right?
It's so weird knowing what we know that he did, and yet we can still look at him and idolize him in some way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've had those same thoughts, right? Just because I said it just seems like society right now is becoming quote unquote more woke, right? Like so we're in this, like
woke AF, my friend, woke AF.
Yeah, but I said, but then to your point, I said you have like things like that, like right? I'm like. Are we gonna pay attention to this, or are we just gonna ignore that?
No,
because we like Thriller.
Yeah, like everyone loves Thriller. They're not gonna get rid of Thriller and all that stuff because of it. But you can't watch Bill Cosby anymore. So
we're not allowed.
You're not allowed.
But I think the one thing that got me about Finding Neverland though was, like I said, all the behind the scenes footage of basically all like the rooms of Neverland Ranch, right? Like of all the weird, trippy places, like the theater, like the built-in theater that they had, like all this like weird, trippy rooms of Neverland Ranch,
where the guy literally went room to room and said, "I had sex in there. I had sex in there. I had sex in there." It's like, good God, dude, you were 9. Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know what this story is about, it's pretty much about a lot of the victims of Michael Jackson's past, and they kind of come out and talk about it. So,
I have a question, because there was always like jokes from forever about Michael Jackson. Like I still remember the how are JCPenney and Michael Jackson alike? They both have boys' pants half off. Like I remember that joke from like middle school, right? There's another one.
Oh my God!
How are McDonald's and Michael Jackson alike? They both like 40-year-old meat between 9-year-old buns.
Oh my God! Well, now we know what kind of podcast we're on there, Trevor.
Exactly. Now you know what you're watching. But like, that's been around since, like I said, I was in middle school.
It is true.
How is it shocking that there's this documentary that, he actually did rape kids? Yeah, we've known about it for a long time.
I think it was a big joke because he always had a little kid by his side throughout his most of his career. He always had a little kid with him, be it the Australian kid, be it Macaulay Culkin, be it someone else. So people were just assuming, and then it finds out it's all real. All your jokes were real. Yeah, but it's a pretty tough watch though. Some of the things that they talk about is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's not really an upbeat topic.
I didn't
Hey,
no.
Well, not to go super off topic, but hey, Scott, Jessica got bingo.
Oh wait, really? Oh, okay. Wait, just a sec.
Bingo!
Fun.
That's awesome.
I love my buttons.
I'm digging them too, Trevor. Make a note of this. We need buttons.
We need stuff to go. I can get the buttons. I don't know what to go with the buttons.
Yeah,
I know. We don't really Yeah.
We don't have any animated stuff.
I can't imagine, like, so every week we do a show on Thursday called Artist Alley where we bring on an artist and we have them either draw live or we do a live interview with them and whatnot. And people can come in and ask questions. It's actually really cool. One of our recent artists that we had on was Nathan Hamel, Mark Hamel's son, and he was discussing some of his projects that he's working on. Who did we actually just have on this Thursday?
Oh, Ninja Bot?
Ninja Bot, yeah.
Ninja Bot, thank you. Yes, I had the ninja part, but didn't have that bot. Anyways, but yeah, so that was really great. But they were more of an interview. But I can't imagine if we had a guest who's sitting there drawing, and then we throw like a bingo. All of a sudden, the cute face is squeak.
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of amazing. I'm glad you brought up the Thursday streams for a couple of reasons, but like the main one was like I think it's really cool that you guys started those. Right? You've had I don't know what word I want. Right? You've had kind of nationally known artists, like you said, kind of like Nathan Hamel, but then you've had like more friend artists like Austin, the Funko Hunko, and like Kaylee, AOK. Like you've had some of those people on too, who we know are talented, right? Because they post stuff on Instagram or Twitter, but they're basically just like our friends. It was really cool to have them on. Like you guys, I think you and Kelly teamed up and sent me a print too of it. One of the things
you wanted the giveaway live.
Yeah, the Pop-Tart, which was kind of cool. So I have that, which is pretty awesome. Wasn't expecting that. So yeah, like I think those streams have been a lot of fun. I feel like the timing on those happened around the same time, like all the COVID stuff started and everybody was quarantined and staying home. Was that like planned or were you guys had these in the works for a while?
It's interesting you mentioned Austin because we were going to have him on just to kind of talk to him on one of our podcasts. We're going to do a movie episode because we know he likes movies a lot. And his internet was conking out or whatever. He was having like a hurricane or something. And, he's like, it would be really cool if artists could just like do sketches for you guys. And that just got the ball rolling on the whole thing. And it just happened to be right around like late March because that's when we were doing our March Madness bracket for the movies. And that's why it fit in.
It's coming out with a suggestion for Thong Zoller.
Yeah, isn't he friends with Ed and Jessica? That sounds like it might be able to happen.
Well then.
Yeah, anybody, man.
We're open.
If you want to be on our show,
I can draw stick figures.
But can you draw stick figures for 2 hours? That's
while talking at the same time.
Stick figures 2 hours.
Make a Pikachu stick figure. I gotta see a Pikachu stick figure.
Cool. You can do it.
And then make him have a power glove.
It's so rad. You do it.
But it's cool. We have a lot of some of our, like, for instance, our friends who have been on and have done it. It's really cool because they've actually been able to take requests on the fly and just kind of come up with something just right there on the spot. And it's a thing of beauty to watch the art come together just right there. It's really cool. Yeah. And honestly, the whole thing really came about because artists right now, they're not able to go to the cons. Like when I go to a con, I want to go down Artist Alley and see what kind of new art is coming out, what kind of artists are new stuff that they're like imagining, whatever. We don't have that anymore. And the artists are losing out on exposure. They're losing out on a lot of things that cons really gave them. And that's where we kind of stepped in and said, what if we had a secondary Artist Alley? And I really think I love how it's gone so far, and I really hope that it continues.
Yeah, it depends on the artist you talk to, but like companies like Funko or whatever, they're big companies, DC, they'll live and survive without a big, huge booth at a big, huge con. They have plenty of name recognition, but a lot of these artists, they're talking like 70 to 90% of their process transactions are from cons throughout the year. They go Emerald City, SDCC, a local con, NYCC. You take all of them out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Tough
like
stuff.
70% of my income, and all of a sudden I don't have any cons to go to. Which looks like March through probably the end of this year at
Through like
least.
next March at least.
Oh, dude, probably next March too, man. We'll be lucky.
Yeah,
if
lucky.
STC
Lucky if Emerald City
happens.
goes off next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's going to be the first
I
test.
think, maybe SDCC next year, but that might be pushing it.
It might be pushing it just for the fact that there's gonna. I mean, that's 500,000 people being crammed into one little place. You know,
Imagine if they did like a like, oh, instead of all the people, we have to only have one pathway through the con so we can limit, amount of people. Imagine how crazy it would be as, the demand now, and then they had to limit it.
Just imagine though, if you pass by something and they're like, oh shit, I actually wanted to go buy that. I was like, fuck it, I have to.
zigzag all the way through, wrap back around. I'll get there eventually.
That would be brutal.
First one took me 8 hours to get through. I guess I'm doing another 8.
I think the timing of your Artist Alley streams worked really good. Just because we're everybody's home on a Thursday night now. Like it worked out well. Like I know I look forward to them because it's something else to watch, right? That and Sully started streaming around the same time too. All of a sudden I found myself on Mixer a whole lot more. This past 3 months.
There with segue.
Transition.
Hold on. Where is your segue thing? Wait, come on, make the full screen segue.
You know what? Here, I don't have that one, but I do have something from one of our interviews with somebody that might actually be pretty fun. Larry hates it when I play this one.
This is the worst interview of my career.
Wow. Already off to a good start, Trevor. Hey, man.
So that was our interview with Brian Volkweiss.
That's awesome.
So I don't even know where I'm going. Oh yeah, thank you, Bizarro John in the chat. Rip Mixer, right? So Mixer announced
Bingo Square. That was me ruining a segue.
That was Scott killing the segue. So Mixer, Microsoft, who owns Mixer, announced on Thursday that, hey, guess what? We're not just going to support this streaming thing anymore. Hey, Facebook, here, take all of our users. Everybody have fun, figure out what you want to do. So it seems like the majority of people have transitioned to Twitch, which I think you guys have too, right? It's only been 3 days at this point.
Yeah, we've done one stream on Twitch now. We're Twitch pros, experts, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you're live. You're on Twitch, which I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Because I feel like we never really did anything on Mixer. We had a Mixer account. I watched you guys and Sully and other people on Mixer. I think you're probably like me because you were streaming on Mixer. I like Mixer a lot better than Twitch. Right when Funko was doing the live streams and you had the option to do YouTube, Twitch, or Mixer, I feel like a lot of us went to Mixer. So I'm pretty sure that's why you guys were streaming there too. How do you feel about Mixer shutting down?
So the cool thing is, Trevor here ever since we started doing lives, we've been doing lives on Mixer, Twitch, YouTube. We've been doing them all, and that's all thanks to this guy. Is he right here? Is he right?
Yeah.
That's all thanks to Trevor. But my personal opinion, Mixer was cleaner. It was user friendly. I can't I don't know. I just feel Twitch is very clunky and very kind of basic. There's not a lot to it. It's kind of
Twitch feels robotic when you on Mixer you see everybody's avatar, and so instantly you're like, okay, now you have to read their username, and then sometimes the colors don't match up with the background. If it's a dark blue on that black, I have to change the angles to see who it actually is. And Mixer was fun. You had all the sparks and the GIFs and all the animated effects. I'll miss Mixer.
Goofy stuff like that, man. The GIFs were a ton of fun.
One of my favorite parts.
me and Coach JD, who was one of our artists, we used to have little battles during the Funko streams, live streams, where we would get on there and we would try and spend all of our sparks against each other trying to get the top bill. But now there's none of that anymore.
It's kind of sad. Those are everything you just named are the things that stand out to me too. And it's funny, as dumb as it is, the avatars, that's a big deal to me.
Yeah.
I like you said, like you kind of like get to know people sometimes by their avatars too. Where I recognize that maybe quicker than you recognize the name. So if it's somebody new, right, you start to know people by your avatars. So it's kind of a shame that you just have a name, or I guess, right, if you're got your Prime account linked, you get the little crown looking thing, and there's a few things, but
really
not the same. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, right? Like Asian Tony Stark's in there. He's got a little, I think it's a crown next to his name. I don't know.
Twitch Prime.
Oh, it's Twitch Prime.
Yeah, Twitch
I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'll get my Amazon Prime, get the 2-day shipping on my Twitch account. Bam.
Well, you get it, but don't you get Twitch Prime for having Amazon Prime?
Yeah,
I think you do.
that's part of the like $100 or $110, whatever it costs now.
Yeah.
I'm already over it. I'm over
Twitch has a huge audience. I mean, they said already it was like 2.5 times the number of people are watching on Twitch than Mixer, but that means there's also a ton more streamers, and there's a ton of ways for your content to get lost.
Yep.
It's true.
Well, like for me, content like ours and your guys's too, like Twitch to me has always been like, we're the channel for if you're going to play video games and like all that related content. Like, we don't do this. Like, we don't play. Like, we tried it and we are really bad at. Like, we're good at talking with each other, but I can't talk to myself for like 2 hours.
You know who's
it's a
great at
special
it?
ability.
Sully.
Yeah.
Sully can sit there and talk for 4 hours straight. I mean, a lot of it is him talking to the crowd because, his chat is continuously going. But if he's got nothing going on in the chat, he's sitting there just noodling off himself.
Yeah. Right. Can't do it. So we tried it. We failed. And so like we abandoned Twitch real quick.
Yeah. Well,
so like, go back to it. I'm like, I don't know if like Twitch, like to me, just Twitch doesn't stand out for like, that's the best place for our content. Like that was the I guess adjustment that I had to make, because I was like, that doesn't sound right.
No, well, that's why, like, that's part of the reason why we gravitated towards YouTube. That's why we chose YouTube, kind of right over Twitch. Mixer really wasn't even a thing when we started. That's how old we are. Right, like
that's how well that thing lasted, right? Like we've been around.
You man,
outlasted Mixer.
We've been around longer than Mixer was alive.
Add that to my resume. Right, we were trying to do some unboxing videos. Like Nate still does some. Like, right, we were trying to do like con coverage and that kind of stuff too, which I know you guys have done a little bit of. Right, that's where YouTube was kind of better, because then it has a house to live forever. Where Twitch and like Mixer are more temporary. So I don't know. I still see benefits in all of them. I think it was when Sully was had his last Mixer stream, and he was kind of like, "Hey guys, I don't know what to do." Right, and he was kind of asking the chat what he thought people should go to. I think Trevor dropped some pretty awesome knowledge. It was something along the lines of like, like because the two options Mixer gave us was, really, you can go to Twitch or you can slide over to Facebook Gaming. And Trevor, I think you were saying, like Facebook Gaming may not be a big deal today, because I didn't even know Facebook had gaming until this week. But like next year, like who knows? Like Facebook Gaming could blow up. They clearly have resources. They have the daily active users. Like if they're all in, man,
shoving everything over there, it's gonna grow it. Like there's no doubt about it.
So have any of you guys checked out the Facebook Gaming app?
No.
Download it and check it out. Like just like so, it's if you're missing Mixer, like so, a lot of the things that you know and love from Mixer are built into that. So it's I've had that app downloaded for a while. I've seen it kind of grow over time, and like I said, the latest update. So once this announcement got pushed out. Like it's an interesting product. I'll put it that way.
Do you think that it's something that can withstand and beat out Twitch?
I don't.
Well, and here's the thing. So I think it has. I think it has its own market, right? So you have. I said Twitch. I said Twitch with the gamers, right? But then what Facebook Gaming puts into play as well is that they're starting to actually match in games, like full-on games that you actually don't have to download, that you can actually play and actually stream on their service. It's So for example, like
they're doing xCloud stuff.
Yeah, so they started off with some cloud stuff, and it started off with like small games, like like Plants vs Zombies and stuff like that.
Clash of Clans.
Well, no, not even stuff like that, but actual like games.
Yeah, Plants vs Zombies is a real game.
So you could actually play it on their service and stream it at the same point in time, where like you could have literally the most potato computer in the entire world.
I could do it,
but still, but still be able to do that. So. I don't know if it's necessarily overtake it. I think it's just going to carve out a different audience where a different kind of experience will live there.
It's really interesting just that Facebook is like, Microsoft, let's buy that thing that you couldn't do anything with. Like from a company perspective of Facebook, do they really think they're that much more brilliant than Microsoft or could put more money at it to be more successful than there's a reason Microsoft gave up.
It's true. It's weird because Microsoft just threw all that money at like Ninja and those other streamers.
Yeah, so here's where I think is weird though too, because I just read with Microsoft, they're shutting down all their actual
stores.
Microsoft stores. Too.
Yeah.
So I think Microsoft is going through and being like, we're out of a lot of this shit.
Yeah, we're just gonna streamline what we do and we know what we actually do.
Yeah, I think it was just too much niche stuff that they were trying to get into, and I think they're just bailing. Right? Like get rid of all that external crap. Let's focus on just, keeping up. I mean, at this point, it's Windows and Office. Like, let's just do those really well and get that done. Xbox, right? They're that gaming, and just give up a lot of this other crap and sell it off because, that surprisingly, like having a whole thing to support like Mixer, that's a huge business. Like, I don't think people realize how big that has to be. And that's a lot of upkeep on servers and stuff, which they could just be like, I'm out and bail on it. So.
And so to your point, Trevor, I don't necessarily think it's necessarily a money thing, right? So I said, yeah, I think there's you can throw a bunch of money at a problem and try to solve it, but I also think it's just the experience, right? So Microsoft, like I said way back in the day, also tried to actually create some social networking services, right? So which I'm trying to remember what Microsoft's social media service.
Wasn't just their Microsoft Plus account or something like that?
No, that was Google Plus.
Yeah, it was some Microsoft social media account. And so I think if you involve the concepts of social media, I think that's where their niche is, and I think that's why they're going after that. Not necessarily a power play for the gaming, but like, hey, how can we basically make this more social environment?
Well, and to be fair, like Twitch has such a good.
To be fair,
Ed brings up and Tyler bring up the Zune. I
had a Zune.
I had a Zune as well.
I was working at Best Buy when we sold Zunes.
So going in, like, I don't even fucking know where I was going. Actually,
Microsoft has had their hands in a lot of things.
Yeah,
maybe they like as soon as it's not successful, they just jump out. I really like aside from the Ninja and like paying those streamers a lot of money, like I don't think they did a whole lot to advertise Mixer. Like I think I only knew about it because Sully really liked it and promoted it for the Funko stuff. Like if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would have ever downloaded Mixer. Like I definitely probably wouldn't have used it as much. So
yeah, they never put really ads on TV or anything. Like, hey, your streaming content or content doesn't have to be related to just Netflix and Hulu. Guess what? You can watch user-created content. They never did anything like that.
No.
Well, if they would have went down the TikTok route, good Lord, they would probably be way bigger because TikTok sunk all their money into advertising. I mean, you've got billboards in downtown LA that are just a TikTok person doing some dumb shit. I don't know,
man.
It works.
Taking all kinds of people's information, man.
Totally.
They just really need to get that all your info over to China. So
TikTok's a brilliant strategy.
Yeah,
it's true. But you're right. Like there was a time when you couldn't watch a YouTube video without getting a TikTok ad.
Yeah,
like it was literally like 90% TikTok.
When we went last year at E3, me and Trevor attended E3, and there was probably every corner I looked, there was a gigantic billboard for TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, side of buildings were plastered with TikTok.
I mean, that's what Mixer should have done. Right?
Yeah,
That's what Microsoft should have done. Be like, hey guys, we got this really cool thing. It's got great interfaces. You can do GIFs. Like you can do all the stuff that we just said we liked about Mixer, but they didn't do that.
if it wasn't, I will tell you this: if it wasn't for Larry telling me about it, because he probably heard it from Sully, I never would have known about Mixer at all. He's like, we should stream on a Mixer, and my first reaction was like, what the fuck is a Mixer? Like, what is that?
I have one in my kitchen.
Yeah, it's like everything in the kitchen, or like audio mixer. Like, I don't think we need to run our shit through a mixer. I think our audio is kind of crappy, but it's still okay.
Sir Mixer a lot.
Yeah, Sir Mixer. Yeah, so the Mixer news is kind of sad, but it doesn't surprise me that Microsoft failed another venture that Microsoft gave up on.
I don't think they're hurting too hard right now.
Yeah, they're not.
No.
Oh, Bill Gates is going to cry into his hundreds of billions of dollars.
Right?
Oh, no. Like, yeah.
Like a lot of companies are doing with all this COVID stuff, right? It's just restructuring. Maybe they just they're putting their money into more important things like Microsoft Teams.
Oh.
Ryan said in the chat. It's true though. Like,
No, Microsoft Teams, they are advertising that.
yeah, they are exactly right.
Because it fits in with their mold of Office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Office. They're like, yeah, that's
Right.
we
don't know what it
basically
is.
have the lock on that market, so let's advertise that one. Right?
It's like Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's-
Google Meet. Everybody is trying to compete with Zoom, but the thing is, once you get the name Zoomers out as a generation, that's free advertising for life.
100%. Although, do you guys know? So this is a random thing. You know, apparently there was 2 people that had the name Zoom as their company name. So when like this COVID shit started going on, people bought the stock
wrong
in
stock?
the wrong Zoom.
Oh,
So this other
Oh
company-
no!
ruh-roh.
So they had to like stop trading on the name Zoom for
So
both groups so that people could figure out which one was the right one.
so there's Zoom the video company, and there's Zoom the audio company.
Yeah.
So that does, like I said, all like, so like I have a Zoom recorder. Like
Yeah.
that's
Oh, man.
That's the Zoom
that's
H6.
that's
Yeah.
Zoom H6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So it's
Oh my god!
So you guys know, there was some shenanigans with Zoom when all this happened because everyone tried to jump on the stock bandwagon and bought podcasting equipment, like stock in that company.
Dude, streaming stuff like Elgato's all sold out of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Wow, I didn't know
Can't
that.
buy a webcam. Like so anymore.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I still can't buy a webcam or toilet paper for some reason. Like that's still a good thing. Thanks, COVID.
That's one dirty butthole right now, man. Jeez.
Scott, Jeremy.
Although I do have to say, if I did buy toilet paper and a webcam at the same time, I might get some questions.
Hey, put it on Twitch.
Yeah, that's streaming.
You got yourself a streaming service, friend.
That might be better for Facebook.
I can do COVID toilet paper reviews. That'll be great.
Oh my god. Oh.
Larry said,
I think it's time for you to do your thing, Larry.
All right. Well, first off, Alex and Trevor, where can we find the secondary heroes? Like, where are you guys on? Well, I'll do it. But you can find the secondary heroes on Twitch, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at Secondary Heroes.
Yep.
Super,
Nice,
super.
not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like easy. After all of them, go check out the STS Guys. We are on Instagram at STS Guys. We are on Twitter at STS Guys, and we are on Facebook at the STS Guys. And I'm Larry from the STS Guys. Chilling like a villain. Where's Nate?
"Oh, chilling like a villain."
We're missing Nate. We don't know what to do.
Well, I said, because I thought Nate says it after Larry goes into a spiel of like 100 different podcasts.
He says it after that one. It's okay. You don't pay attention. You're the Nate of today. So anyway, you know you like Funko Pops because you're listening to us. So you should head to ShumiStore.com and get yourself some brand new Funko Pops, right? They got the new Masters of the Universe stuff available for pre-order. And Shumi has new $5 like flat rate shipping, so you can get all the Pops you want. Only $5 to ship. Enter code STS Guys. You're going to save 10%. And then you need a new t-shirt. Go to animatedapparelcompany.com, enter code STS Guys. You're going to save 10% and get free shipping. Animated Apparel Company, it's the best.
It's the best.
And then
They've got a whole thing, Trevor. What's going on? Let's get on top of this stuff.
We're not taking any notes.
so
If you haven't noticed, that's again, we're trying to get the cease and desist from the jewelry company from London Gold. No one's brought it up to them yet.
Nobody cares. So, all right. And then, you like podcasts. If you like the STS Guys, if you like Secondary Heroes, you should also check out our friends, Talking Pops, Pop Collectors Alliance, The Tyler G Show, Toy Photocast, Four Dorksmen Geek Together, The Average Nerd, Movie Retakes, 3 Beers, and a Mic. And one day, in August probably, Scott and I are going to do a new episode of the Totally Rad Movie Podcast.
Garbage Pail Kids is coming up soon.
One day.
I promise you guys.
I still have not seen Garbage Pail Kids.
No?
That's a movie that I need to see.
Yeah.
I've heard it's terrible.
You will not be happy you did. But
No.
It's 1 hour and 32 minutes of your life you'll never get back.
You will never get that back.
So yeah, thank you guys very much for coming on the podcast. I remember when you guys announced, right, that you were starting. I think I knew the two of you more than I knew Josh and Prague, maybe a little bit of Prague, but I know I followed Trevor on Instagram for a really long time. I know I've known the name Delorean Wolfgang from like Nerd Foo questions and stuff for like.
Oh, wow.
I actually thought your name was Delorean for a really long time. It's only recently that I figured out that it's really Alex.
Yep.
I actually know a guy named Delorean.
No
like
way.
Yeah, like it's spelled differently than like the car, but so I legit thought your name was Delorean.
That car?
Yeah, like that one. That's the man with the DeLorean in the background.
But thank you guys. Like I remember you announced your podcast. I was super excited for you guys. It's a little over a year later now, and you guys are killing it, which is awesome. So thank you for being supportive of us. We'll continue to be supportive of you guys.
Thank you
very much for coming to hang out.
Yeah, this was a good time.
Yeah, excellent.
Jeremy, take us out.
So for episode 138 of the STS Guys, I've been Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS Guys. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Lumpkin.
Lumpkin.
What?